Welcome to the Lindsay and Tony podcast, where we talk about spirituality, business, and life experiences.
In this podcast, we're bringing our private conversations to you.
We believe that it's through discussion, action, and reflection that true change occurs. Hello and welcome to episode 5. We are going to talk all about connecting to the other side, a new normal. Before I get into what you're going to learn about, I just want to give you an update. If you are someone that is a medium, someone that is looking to deepen their skills on connecting with those that have passed, go to lindsaymarino.com. I have an intimate mentoring program specifically for tuning into mediumship, and it's called Unlock Your Inner Medium. I cannot wait for you to check it out. So I'm going to get into the show and tell you exactly what you're going to learn today. Today, Tony and I gave you personal examples of experiences that we've had with our own loved ones that have passed. We talk about how sometimes you may feel like you're completely making all of this stuff up when you receive messages from the other side. We also talk about how culture and society portrays this sort of topic a certain way. And we touch on the ways that things that happen as a child and how there's times where you may feel extra sensitive as a child, and then as you grow through your adult years, those sensitivities shift. We teach you ways that you can pick up your own messages too. We can't wait for you to listen to the show. Hi guys, welcome to the show. We are so happy that you're here today. And I can't believe we're already on the second batch of episodes that we're making. We keep on getting tons of messages and emails and just all kinds of things from you guys that have been listening to all of the episodes, and we're so grateful for your feedback.
So very grateful. We appreciate every message and all the feedback, and a few people they told us what they learned on the episodes, and we love that because that's the reason why we're doing this, is so everybody watching and listening could take something from each episode and apply it into their life and see a result. So Thank you.
Yep. Where I feel like the teacher in us will never go away.
It won't.
So we're really excited about today's episode, and today's episode is all about connecting with those that have passed. Now, Tony and I are pretty good about talking. We're definitely good with talking and having conversations about this because it's so normal for us every day to receive signs and communicate with those that have passed. So when we talk about one of Tony's friends, his name's Jerry. We love Jerry. Tony will come home from different things and he'll say, yeah, Jerry, I was talking to Jerry today and he said this, and that. If anyone was in our house or in our conversations, they'd think, okay, these people are crazy. We are trying to make these conversations the new normal because it is normal to connect with your past loved ones.
Right. And I mean, before I met Lindsay, it wasn't like I was researching how to communicate with dead people. I wasn't communicating that, and but I always had an open mind. And once I moved in with Lindsay and then we started to go on this journey that we've been on, I started to see the impact it has on people. And then immediately after I started talking to Lindsay, I started to actually start to see signs myself. And I know it sounds crazy to the average person. And like Lindsay said, our conversations that are normal to us now, if somebody else would listen to them, then they would, I don't know. I don't know what they would think. But like Lindsay said, it's not like we're trying to force this on anybody. This is our new normal. And I know that as people experience what I've experienced over the last 6 or 7 years, once you open your mind and you start to see the healing and everything in it, it will become your new normal. And then the ripple effect will start to, and then eventually 100 years from now or whatever, 10, I don't know, 200, I know eventually though, this will be like any other sense that we have. Our ability to touch and see, and like the television that came out that was crazy the time that it came out. Everybody's like, wow, a box that you can see things on. But I look at it, that's our normal now. And then I think that psychic mediumship as
it is becoming
it is
normal
right now, as in front of our eyes.
And I feel like I have to say, reality television has done a good job of educating people on connecting with those that have passed. And every show's different. My first reality television show that I saw was Lisa Williams, and she's one of my many mentors that I've had with mediumship. And she had the show called Life Among the Dead. And I'll have to get her on the show at some point on the podcast to talk about her experience and different things that have come up in her life. But once I started watching her show, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. And at that point, I didn't know Tony, but I had lost Nick, and that was my show that I would watch regularly. And now there's Long Island Medium, Tyler the Medium. I know Monica the Medium has been on TV. And there's just different styles of mediumship. And those of you who are joining and you're thinking, what is a medium? A medium, someone that connects to the spiritual realm. The spirit realm connects to those that have passed. When Tony and I met, we just trusted the information that kept coming to us. And that's how we were brought together. I truly believe, and Tony, you believe too.
Well, I did. Well, when I first met Lindsay, which if you watch the other episode, I forget what episode we talked about that on. We talked about how we met.
Intuition one.
But when I first met, that's what it was, is why he talked about it. So that's what I was going to say is, when I first met Lindsay, I was open to intuition. So like I was already, like 2 years before that, I think I said this before, I came across the law of attraction, quantum physics, opened up my mind. And I started to realize that I had been using my intuition in basketball and throughout my life, actually my entire life. So I was already open to intuition when I first met Lindsay, but it kind of like opened me up to actually the other part of our sixth sense is our ability to communicate with people who passed away. And so I look at those two as they're pretty similar. But they are different. I mean, Lindsay will tell you it's a different kind of, it's still using your sixth sense.
It is.
But it's, one's your intuition to where it's really, like we talked about before, that's a universe speaking to you and you're using that. So really, it's the universe speaking to you, but the way I look at it is we're all one, we're all the universe. So that's why I kind of look at intuition and speaking with people who passed away is one and the same.
It is. And I feel like with mediumship, when you do connect in, when a medium does connect in for you, and you don't have to have a medium to connect into your past loved ones, you can connect in yourself, and we'll talk more about that throughout the episode. You have proof that they were here. So since I'm an evidential mediumship, I'm very big on giving evidence and proof of memories of maybe how they passed or the things that they love to do in their life or different things like that, but also the essence of who they are as a soul when they were here. When you get that evidence, there's no doubt about, how did that person know this, okay? So you have proof that they were once here, so you can prove it. When you connect with God, the universe, and maybe more of, spirit guides, you don't really have proof. You have to trust that feeling inside that, I think I'm talking to someone or something. But with past loved ones, you can feel their personality come through, and you still might think, okay, I'm making this up. This is very far-fetched. This could be a coincidence. And it feels so easy once you do it that it feels like you're making it up.
And I think that's like with anything that you do, maybe your job you're working at or wherever, once things get too easy, it feels like, it just feels like, oh no, that's too easy. I can't, it's kind of like with the finding your passion and working in a career that's your passion. Most people don't do it because it just, that's too easy, So it's another thing like that.
I want them to hear, because you don't even understand. I was going to say, we can write a book about this, but I am writing a book about it and you're writing. But we've had some crazy, amazing experiences with our past loved ones to know that they are with us. To the point where there was one point we made bacon one night, and we probably shouldn't have done this, but we left the bacon, the grease was in the pan. So there was tin foil in the pan, there was grease in the pan. The next day I walked down the stairs and I was on the phone with Nick's guardian, Barb. And I was like, oh my gosh. And it took my breath away because as I was walking down the stairs, do you remember what I'm going to say?
Yeah, you saw the face in the grease.
Yeah, I saw Nick's face, his profile in the pan.
They're
You
really
saw it
gonna
too.
think you're crazy now.
I don't
No, I
care.
saw it too. No, it's
we
just,
gotta make this normal.
no, that's just one of the things that happens to
Yeah,
us.
so I've seen his face in a reflection in the water years ago, but this actually was either his birthday or his death anniversary. It couldn't have been his birthday because we weren't here in July.
I can't remember. Like I said, this happens so often that, like,
And
I remember that
saw it.
specific. I remember that, but I don't remember exactly when it was. But this is just like a normal daily thing to where we see signs everywhere. I mean, it's one of those things that once you open up your mind, you can never close it again, actually.
Yeah,
And,
it's a whole new world.
I mean, you can't actually, I take that back. You can close it because that's what a lot of you watching and a lot of adults that are living today, they've actually, if you ask them, they'll say, oh, when I was a kid, I started to see things, but then the parents and culture and society shaped it and said, oh, no, you're not seeing things. And then, like, yeah, you're right, I'm not seeing things unconsciously. And then, so yeah, you can shut it out, actually. So it's all about opening this up. And then once that happens, it's like, it's everywhere around us. Like, the information is just everywhere.
That's why I think it's so easy. Like, I feel like Tony and I, some people will probably think, oh, your life is, this way. You can see from the outside, social media, you'll say, there's so much good stuff happening. Not everything is easy for us, but I would say that our intuition and our guidance from our past loved ones, I believe that we are right on it. Like, we know without a doubt. There's no, like, second guessing things. We just, when we make a decision, that's what it is. And I give it credit for connecting with past loved ones and having those experiences. Because
you just know. It's one of those things, it's like, Lindsay said she's an evidential medium, and we need those out here because there's a lot of people that actually get readings from Lindsay who it might be their first reading or they might still be skeptical, so they need that evidence. But what we're trying to do here with this podcast, with this whole theme here, and what Lindsay does with her e-courses and all of her one-on-one training and all that is what she does. Where was I getting at this? I'm sorry. I kind of lost track.
I know. I can pick up your thoughts. You were trying to say so that we shouldn't have to prove that there's life beyond. But
well, it's not shouldn't. That's what I was getting at. So she gives them evidence, but what will happen to you is as you start to experience this over time and educate yourself on it, become aware of it, your own instincts are going to be the biggest evidence that you will ever have. And this goes with mediumship, talking with people who passed away, and this goes with making decisions in your career or with anything. Once you take in all this information and then make it your own and tune into your own guidance system, which Anita Morjani talks a lot about and writes a lot about, tuning into that, and which we were born with, that's your number one source of wisdom and really truth there.
Yeah, and you'll feel it in your body.
Right.
And I think to take some steps back to talk about what things can you experience with connecting with your own past loved ones, but also you brought up a really good point that I don't want to forget. So remind me if I forget what I just said. We have to do this for each other. What was it? Okay, so connecting with past loved ones, and then also you said sometimes as a child we might see things, or we might experience the spirit realm, or we might feel different things. It could frighten us where we feel like, I feel like someone's in my room and I'm trying to go to sleep. That used to happen to me where I didn't see anything. I just felt a presence. So I'd call my dad and put the covers over my head and count to 5 and say 1, 2, 3, I'm going to call my dad. And I'd scream out his name. It's like I shut off that sense.
Like, Paul!
No, I'd say dad.
I know.
And I would shut off that sense of feeling, and then over time things shifted for me. But I will say this is, it's like getting on a bike. If you haven't ridden a bike in a while, but you did learn at one point, you'll pick it back up. So the senses might change. Maybe when you were little, you had strong clairvoyance, or clear seeing. You can see spirit. But then over time, that might shift, and you might see it like a memory in your mind, or you might have clear audience, where it's clear hearing, or you just have an inner knowing. And a lot of my students that come to me, they'll say, I want to experience what I did when I was little. I used to see spirit, and now I don't. well, there's nothing wrong with you, but sometimes things shift around for you. And Mavis, another mentor of mine, she's someone that she's a teacher of mine. She will talk about that in an episode that's coming out soon. And she'll talk about how things can shift around.
I love Mavis.
Isn't she so cute?
She is.
She's the best. I love her. Tony met her outside. She was smoking a cigarette.
In Boston.
In Boston with class, and you just felt right away at
yeah,
home
you feel at home with her right away. It's just very easy to talk with her, and
right.
Very sweet lady.
Yeah, she's great. So, and also connecting with past loved ones. So some things that they may experience are visitations. You may get nudged to look at different signs and messages. I know you may walk into a room and a song might come on the radio, and maybe it's not a song that you experienced with your loved one that was here. Maybe it wasn't even out at that point, but there's lyrics in the songs that your mind will kind of get magnified to, and it will just pop out. I always say it like it's like a lens, and all of a sudden it heightens. You become aware of it, and that's the stuff that can happen. But I always think about the experience that you had in class, in sign language class.
Yeah, with that one, I'll share that one. But since you just brought up the song one, can I say that too? So my friend Jerry passed away I'm losing track of time, like 4 years ago. And the next morning after I found out, I woke up with this tune in my head, and I'm like, what tune is that? And so I couldn't think of which tune it was. So then I got in my car. I started driving to work, because this is when I was teaching in the public school system still. And I was driving to work, and all of a sudden it clicked. I knew that it was this song that was on the radio. And I ended up finding out that I listened to the song, and in the song it said, "We're safe and sound." Yeah. It's that one song. I forget how it goes. It goes, doom, doom, doo, 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 doo. Safe and sound. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I forget exactly how it goes, but
I love the song.
The tune was in my head, and I felt that it was Jerry communicating with me. I'm like, wait, what is it? I went in my car, I listened to the lyrics, and I was like, oh, he's safe and sound. And that's a lot of times, it'll come that way. It'll come to where it's like a subtle thing, and you might not know what it is at first.
And tell him how he passed.
Yeah, he passed from suicide, actually, and which is unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. And this is another reason why me and Lindsay do everything we do with this platform, with the podcast, with the videos, with teaching, is because I just want to educate people, like with mental health, with expanding your mind, expanding your awareness, like with this episode, like helping you to see more. Like as we see more, we want to help other people see more. Yeah. And that's the whole point of this. But that was the Jerry experience with that, with the music. That morning, and then you were talking about the sign language one. Mm-hmm. And these are examples. There's hundreds of them. I could go on all day long.
Like I'm thinking of you playing the guitar and things coming through that.
Yeah, that's another one too. But I'll go into the sign language one. So it was my second year at the University of South Florida, and I was studying. I was here living in Tampa, and I was studying my sign language book because I had a test the next day. And all of a sudden, I got goosebumps, and I felt not always do I know exactly who it is, but at this moment I knew who it was. It was my Aunt Diane. I knew she was there. I got goosebumps. I felt it, and I felt her I didn't feel someone hit me in the head, but kind of nudge my head down. I looked down, and it was a picture of someone doing the sign for 57, and I figured how to do it. 50. I haven't done it in a couple of years, but 57. My aunt died when she was 57. Immediately after this, and this is all bam, bam, bam. Immediately after I saw that, she nudged my head again and put my hand, my hand just naturally went down in this huge paragraph that said woman. And then something else happened after that.
I love you.
It was something else. Yeah, then I love you. But it was all like, every time it happens to me, and I'm sure Lindsay, with her students, and I've heard you say the same thing, it's like bam, 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 all very quickly.
Yep.
And I could see how if I wasn't open to this and aware of it, it's so easy to miss.
It's true. And you just said that bam, bam, bam. Usually for me, I get 3 sounds in a row. So it's a license plate, it's the song on the radio, and then all of a sudden my volume goes up to a certain number. That's happened to me. And that story, when you came home to tell me it, I knew that it was your aunt.
Yeah.
I knew it. You could feel it. You just feel it. Don't second guess it. When you have dreams or visitations, there's some people that contact me and they sent me messages on private messenger, and they'll say, I had this dream, with my grandma in it or whoever it was. And I felt like it was so vivid. I could feel it. Like I smelt the scent of her. She looked like she was glowing. I just can't get it out of my mind. What was that? Was that a dream? Was that a visitation? That's a visitation. That's their soul visiting your soul. And do not look up the meaning of certain things of where you are. You could easily look up, why were we on a bridge? Or what does a bridge mean? Well, a bridge to you is going to be something different than the hidden meaning on a dream dictionary on the internet. So you got to go with what you first feel. You don't need to depend on anyone else. I know sometimes people like confirmation, but trust what's in your gut.
And maybe at first, when you're first new to this, you might need a little more confirmation than what you do later on.
And that's why I made, I have to say this too, because on my website, lindsaymarino.com, I have a bunch of free classes. I have paid mentorships too. I have a mediumship mentorship that's paid. It's an intimate group. But the free classes, there's one called Master Your Connection with Spirit. I think that's the name of it. And if you go to start here, there's a button that says it on it. There's a class that I taught all about this sort of thing, connecting in with the signs, connecting in, having boundaries of when you want to do this sort of thing. Because, of course, you're receiving signs all the time. But if you're a medium, you also need to know, am I going to be walking around outside in public giving readings to people? That's not something that I do. At the very beginning stages, though, I definitely did, because I was excited about it. I wanted to use it. I felt constant messages, like I had to deliver them. Now I know that during those points I was exhausted, and I didn't know why, because I was so open to giving messages. And it's not ethically right to go up to people and say, I'm picking this up about you. Yeah. There's certain ethics
and
to
it does happen. Like sometimes life happens and you just allow it, and it might break an ethic that moment, but those are very few in between.
Right. It's not like you're trying to go into someone's personal space.
It might just happen instinct. I'm trying to think of one particular where it happened with you. I know it had before.
Yes.
But it's not. Yeah, it's one of those things where
it's not something that's planned.
It's just like when something pulls you to do something, you do it, and that's whenever you're starting to live, from that center, because you're allowing that to kind of guide your actions. So that might happen sometimes, but.
And it's a different way. When you see the reality television shows where, Teresa Caputo might go up to people and give them readings, there's hidden things behind the show where they might have to get the contract signed and the approval to go up to people. So that's one thing with TV. You never know what's happening behind the scenes. And you don't know who you're going to find that you're giving a message to. What if they don't want it? So I've had some experiences before with people asking for readings that might have been friends wanting readings. Then after, it's just, there's lines where you have to give readings at certain points. And I just do it when people book a reading.
And you're getting very good with that over time. I notice you're starting to. And Lindsay's taught me a lot about that too, is like
boundaries.
You got to learn, like once you're open, then you're open, but you got to learn how to like kind of shut it off, turn it on, shut it, like kind of it's just like a light switch, and you can learn to do that.
Yes.
It takes practice. Like anything, but
in the episode,
you just keep practicing, and then it happens.
It's true. And when I talked to Mavis, you didn't see the interview yet, did you?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we were in Boston, so we did it in Boston. But she spoke about living, a human life, and then being the medium too. And it's such a good episode. And even the things that she used to do when she started out.
Which that episode will be coming next.
Yes, it's going to be after
episode,
this. You're going to love it. What else?
So I was going to say, I mean, a lot of people, they're probably wondering, am I a medium? Can I be a medium? In my opinion, I believe that everybody can be a medium. Everybody can be a medium. Like everybody is a medium. Like we all have that ability, but it's all about, it's kind of like working out. I think I use the same analogy with intuition. It's like once you work it out, then it starts to get stronger and stronger and stronger. Right. Of course, Lindsay's a professional, and she's just like bam, 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 bam. She could do it in front of 50, 100 people. I'm not saying everybody could do that all in one day. That took a lot of time and practice and effort. It's just like with any profession that you do. But yes, I believe that everybody can be a medium. So why don't you tell them how you became a medium? I mean, it ain't like you just woke up one day.
I know.
And
that's true. I'm so glad that you brought this up because I was thinking about it and I almost forgot. I know there's a bunch of mediums watching this thinking like, oh God, they're ready to say, I don't agree with that. But like you said, I truly believe what would stop us from connecting with the other side? Well, it's just a frequency away. It's the spirit realm. So it's just like you said, working out, or a pianist. Like if someone's playing the piano, there's some people that have the ear for music. They're born, they're 2 years old, they're ready to go on the piano. They flow with it. Then there's other people that have to work towards that, where they get interested and they get intrigued in the piano. So they spend a lot more time and they practice with it. I believe that that's like mediumship. Mediumship is a choice. Once you're a medium, there's a responsibility that comes with it. You are delivering messages from those that have passed. You're also dealing with the public, the people that are grieving, that are in a lot of pain. So I believe that if you want if you're intrigued with mediumship, there's a reason. You should investigate that. There's a reason for that. And in Mavis's episode, she actually talks about, because she didn't become a medium till later, or she wasn't aware she was a medium till later in life. And she talks about why that happens to some people. And that's what happened to me. When I was little, I used to have outer body experiences where I would leave my body, float around and see things that were happening around me. And they still happen randomly. I would love to be able to plan it and do it all the time, but it doesn't always happen. For me, I'm Catholic, and I probably have brought this up in an old episode, but you'll hear it again if you heard it before. But I'm Catholic, so I used to think it was a sin to go to a psychic. I had no clue what a medium was until Nick passed, and that was someone that I was with at the time. I planned on getting married to him. He passed in a motorcycle accident. He was a mutual friend of me and Tony's. We were Tony, he was a mutual friend for you. Me and him were together. And that's when everything shifted for me. I saw him at the foot of my bed. I started to have visitations from him. One visitation really stuck out to me, and it was, you won't see me for a while, but I'm still going to be around you. It was crystal clear. It wasn't his voice that I heard. It was a telepathic communication that we had back and forth. And I remember trying to beg him to tell me more, and that's all he said. And that will stick out for me forever. And the book will come out, and you'll find out more details about different things that have happened. But that's when the communication started to happen with him, because I wanted to connect with him, and I wanted, the whole story about how I wanted to know that he was okay. And I had a psychic tell me, oh, he's stuck. That's a big topic right there. They're not stuck. I found that out after with the hundreds of readings that I've done, that they're okay. But with that, I said a prayer that I'd be able to help other people. And I said a prayer, if this is really happening, send me another medium. And I did. I met our mutual friend, Jason, who is a medium, had no clue who he was. He went out to eat with a friend of ours, and Nick started to come through. And he started to communicate through him and say, she has to get out of bed. She has to go out with her friends. And he spoke about how I had letters and, a shoebox in my closet. Nobody would know that. So did that answer your question? And
yeah, no, it did. And I wanted you to say that because so people could see that, look, you don't just wake up one day and be like, I'm going to be a medium. A lot of things have to happen. And I did say that everybody is a medium, I believe. But does that mean that everybody's ready to become aware of that? No, absolutely not. You have to be in the right mental space to actually start to get there. It's like levels to it. So not everybody's ready, and not everybody won't be ready. So that's a thing that we all have to understand too.
Yeah. I believe everyone has mediumistic qualities within them, but are they actually a medium? Are they using it?
Right, and that's a difference, right? That's what I was getting at. Is like it's there to where if
they want to tap
they were
into
open
it.
And ready, maybe life experiences happen like they happened with Lindsay that opened them up to it, and now they're ready, and then Lindsay comes along, helps them, or whoever, another teacher, yeah, exactly. So maybe we could close the episode with something, give them a tip to do to maybe some kind of action they could take to open up their awareness to this.
Okay, so I would say write down any dreams that you have from past loved ones. Also open up a conversation to your past loved ones. If you haven't lost anyone close and you're just interested in becoming, learning more about mediumship, go do some research. There's some great information out there, but go with your gut. I always say to my students, if what I teach you doesn't feel right, put it to the side and keep on moving, So you can start by, I always say, journal. You can even check out the stuff on my website. You can go on YouTube, but have open communication with the other side. Say, I'm open to receive. Have a conversation like they're right there, because they are just a thought away. They're just right here. They're saying, hey, I haven't gone anywhere. I'm with you.
Right.
I want you to have a full life.
Yeah, and I would add to that, when they do come through, here's my action tip that you could take is start to pay attention to how they come through to you. Yeah. So like with me, I'm very physical to where I feel it a lot, and I'll feel it in through feelings, and I'll feel it actually with touching me too. So, and then also with the road signs. So that's like my go-to with them. Yeah, so they'll guide me through to the road signs, and then actually show me what message or information they're trying to give to me.
Yeah. And the last thing that I want to say too is the connection cards, the Unlock Your Connection cards, are on my website. These cards are a 55 card deck of healing messages from your past loved ones. And you can hear the full story on my website too. If you click the shop button, you'll see them, and you'll see the video up there. And these were just something that came to me. I never even used oracle cards, really. I don't use them in my readings until I was guided to create this deck. So if you have your own loved ones and you want an extra tool to use to get messages, or if you're a medium, after you give your reading at the very end, if you want your client to pick a card out of the deck, they might be guided to a certain card from their past loved one. It's just another tool. It's not something that you need, but it's something that's very valuable, and I've been receiving countless messages from mediums and people that have used the cards, and it's kind of crazy what's been happening with them. I can't even keep track of the messages, but I also can't receive credit for these either, because I feel like it was definitely a download.
Oh, you get some credit too. And they're beautiful cards too. If you could feel how they feel, and like you said, they're just another tool, just how the road signs are for me. But it's another nice looking tool. They feel nice, and there's been so many stories that I've heard through the use of these cards, some from my family members, some from random people that I've read their messages, and how these cards have been a tool for them to actually connect to their past loved ones. So I highly recommend the deck of cards too, for sure.
Thank you so much for being here, guys. We want to hear your stories about your own past loved ones, or anything that you want to share, maybe about your own mediumship abilities, or any questions that you have for us. And we love having you. So thank you again, and I hope that you pay attention to the signs and just know that your loved ones are with you always. And the spirit realm is a thought away.
That's right. And we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did. If you liked it, leave a 5-star review on iTunes, and remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel too.
If you can think of anyone else that would love this episode, share it with them right now on social media or email. And remember, getting results is a process of learning, applying, and reflecting. Stay consistent and continue to grow every day.